I'll tell you a little bit about Scotland as a sector. We are so small. Oh, and because this is being recorded, I just want to apologize on behalf of the country for Brexit. I'm just saying now, just very, very sorry. I didn't vote for it. So I want to talk about Scotland, our sector. We are quite small. But because we're small, we work together quite well. It's an advantage. We were asked to develop a course in big data. Big data is a priority for Scotland. Also, AI, automation, machine learning, cybersecurity. These are key elements for Scotland. So I'll talk about how we were developing this course. And this course is unusual because we want everyone to know about big data. Like everyone. We want your mother to know about big data. And your sister to know about big data. Everyone. So our course teaches the lecturers about big data. But we want every lecturer to teach their students about big data. If you're a hairdresser, if you're a nuclear physicist, if you're a gardener, if you're a bricklayer, doesn't matter. You can benefit from learning more about data. So that's our target. And I'll also just tell you about some of the techniques that we use to teach using technology. So, is it still really bad translation? I was hoping it would get better. So, in Scotland, we have 26 colleges, only 26. But some are very, very large. Some colleges have up to 30,000 students. Our colleges teach mostly 1 or 2 year programs. But some colleges teach up to degree level, working with universities. We also have one college, which is 10 colleges joined together to form a university. And they teach up to doctorate level. We have, and because this is an engineering conference, I had to look it up. Of our 240,000 students, around 30,000 students are engineering students. And we have the closest connection with business for those students. So students are coming from business to retrain, or they are part of an apprenticeship program in which they'll train at college. About 1/4 of our staff body and our students focus on STEM. STEM is always a priority for the Scottish Government. And we have about 10,000 staff. And my organization is responsible for training staff and helping colleges progress. So, this is a very, very dull book, which we wrote. So it's terrible. It's really, don't download it. It's not fun. Unless you want to go to sleep, in which case it's a very good book. It's awesome. So it basically defines what are the standards for all college lecturers in Scotland. What is it that is important to teaching and learning? In Scotland, we focus on key priorities for staff. This version of the standards says that digital skills are important to all lecturers for learning, teaching, and assessment. Every lecturer should have some ability at digital skills, digital education. But we don't say, you must learn Excel, or you must learn Office PowerPoint, or you must learn a computing language. We say that you should decide what is important, but look for some technology that can help in your learning and teaching. That's what we say. Now, we were funded by an innovation centre. In Scotland, we have 8 innovation centres around health, around engineering, around data science. So our innovation centre has a lot of money. They are very popular at parties. Everybody wants to talk to the innovation centre because they have money. I just realized this is being recorded, so don't. I love Data Lab. So for Data Lab, they asked us to develop this course for lecturers. Try to get data science in front of every student. That is our ambition. We think that data science can help everyone. So it's a boring read, but if you want to. So the online course, it's an online course. It's self-guided, mostly. We do run in the autumn and the spring. We plan to run a moderated course with tutors that will last approximately 6 weeks. Now, it's a 20-hour course with a final assignment. The assignment is important because the lecturers learn about the basics of big data. They understand what it is to collect data, to analyze data, and then to interpret data, and then use it in some way. And we talk about the ethics of data because that's so important with so many issues with companies using data today. At the end, the lecturers then develop an activity for their students directly connected to their subject area. So, how can you imagine that a hairdressing, very popular course in our colleges. We have over 10,000 students training to be health, beauty, hairdressing. How does a hairdresser benefit from, I'm not just looking at you, but you can answer, how does a hairdresser benefit from big data? Why would you teach a hairdresser? I love hairdressers. Why would you teach a hairdresser about big data? Simple. But
you have several thousand hairs on your head.
Yeah, I noticed this morning less hair. It's a problem. So, well, true. So, if you look at our health and beauty, hairdressing students, 40% who leave college go directly to work for themselves. They start their own businesses. And how do they find customers, consumers? They usually advertise through social media. It's a very different kind of set of skills. That now, customers, if they have a bad experience, they can tell you on social media, and they can tell all your future customers. It's a big thing. Hairdressing, you need to have skills of digital media, communication, all to manage in this new world. But if you have customers over 2 or 3 months, you collect a lot of data. Who they are, what they did, how much they paid, how frequently they come to you. What can you use that data for? Anything? So that's what we want to show you. We want to show everyone that data can work for you. Every company uses data. We want everyone to have some benefit from data. And we can show people how they can use data themselves quite easily. So, in this course, we don't demand that people have maths or statistics knowledge or programming knowledge. We don't require that as part of this course. We work together with the University of Stirling. University of Stirling developed Scotland's most popular MSc course for big data. In Scotland now, in the Scottish 19 universities, we offer more postgraduate big data courses than any country in Europe. We are obsessed. We love data. A bit. So our course maps the same steps as MSc Big Data, but we want to teach every student in our colleges. The material in our course is driven through narrative. So this is a really, really bad video. I mean, it's bad. But our author, because the course is not quite finished, the author has developed and drafted some simple videos that we animate to explain how data is used every day, how you interact with data every day, with everything that you do, from your watch to your phone, when you use your shopping card or loyalty card, every point, data is impacted. I have a really, really good story about how Tesco uses data from a loyalty card for Polish customers in the UK. I mean, like a really good story. Please ask me when the camera stops running. Because it's really good. Like, you'll be so surprised about how people use data. I would play this video, but it's not great. But it looks like that. It's fine. The course is about stories. We tell the story of data, how it's used, how it impacts real people, everyday people, small business, big business. Everything is a story because people like stories. People, we could tell you the facts and the figures and the technology, but people want to listen to stories because stories engage us. They capture our imagination. Stories are what brings people in, and motivation is very important. We talk about the real world. So in this example, in Glasgow, we have a problem with how do we maintain houses in Glasgow. Some local council or local authority can control up to 100,000 houses, flats, homes. But how do they keep the maintenance of those homes? Because we have quite a small staff, and everybody is saving money. So one company called IOPT, they decided to put small IoT sensors in every building that the council owned. Now, this is a small sensor that simply measures temperature, CO2, and humidity in every property. And from that, you can judge who is living there. Is it occupied? Have people left? What's the state of condensation in the house? Do you need to send an engineer to do something in that house? And they create a wide data map and present the information easily to their entire workforce, and they can channel all of their resources in a timely manner. The data and the examples we show are all real. They're used in Scotland across all 10 of the areas that we teach in colleges. We have roughly about 650 different course areas, but we concentrate on the top 10, which covers 80% of all courses taught in Scotland. Every example comes from real-life situations. We teach the basics of statistics. We talk about regression and plots, but we explain it, again, inside a narrative. We talk about the basic flows in data science and big data and analysis. But we use very simple data, and we present the data in simple forms, such as tables, so everyone can understand it. A table is pretty simple. Even if I look at a table and I'm not very smart, you are much smarter. But our students can pick up on this and understand it quite easily, and our lecturers. We use simple plots to explain how we read data, how we find patterns, how we clean data. All of these steps, again, inside a narrative. Our tool, and we looked at all the tools that were available. We thought about, should we teach people R? Should we teach everyone Python? Should we create like a new embedded Shiny app and then show people how to do regression analysis. And every time, like, we had a group of people who really wanted to do that, but it's too much, and you don't need it. Excel has a lot of data analysis tools built right into Excel. And all of our students must, they don't like it, but they must use Excel as part of their understanding of basic Office applications. So we teach everything in the context of Excel because we know every student has Excel or something similar. We start with basic tables. We put the open data sets. There are so many open data sets available. I see some advertised. Is this an open data set? No. There is somewhere there's an advert with open data sets in this conference. Open data sets are so powerful. We use everything from Lego to public councils to government statistics. Anything that is relevant to the subject area, we use as real life examples to run data from. All of our colleges have restaurants for students to work in, hair salons, and we ask those groups to give us their data. What are your bookings, your customers? What kind of data do you collect? And we ask the lecturers, how do you use that data? And they just say, just to count how much we're going to pay, or it's just basic budgets. But we say, no, we can use that data. We can do so much with that data. You can do so much with that data. So we use real data sets across the College Board. This lady, Sarah, runs a company in Edinburgh. Her company is called Scott Beer. She does beer tours all around the country. Not whiskey. I don't know why. I think everybody was doing whiskey. So she started. She was from Edinburgh University. She started a company doing beer tours, and they've become super popular. And so she takes groups of visitors from all around the world. She's fully booked for the next sort of 4 to 5 months. She hires individuals, shows them around, trains them how to give a tour about beer, how to drink, glass to mouth. I don't know. So apparently it's very good, but she found it really hard to anticipate what the flows of her customers would be, and that's really important for small business because all of your investment, cash flow, those are real problems that you face when you're running a business. So she started to analyze the data that she had. And I would play the video, but then you wouldn't listen to me speak, and that's terrible. She uses Excel to analyze all of the data that she had. And she found patterns that she could predict when these flows would increase, how she could optimize her workforce to match the requirements of her business. And we found lots of real stories where people just used Google spreadsheets, Excel. We found colleges that used that, even though they had access to big systems. People in real life used these everyday tools to make real impact on their businesses. So we filmed a whole range of people, and we said, just tell us what you're doing. Show us what you're doing. And then we can show people, if you're a student in the class, you're very far away from the real world. What you imagine is going to happen in the workplace is so far in the future. Sometimes you can't make a connection with what I'm learning here and what I'm going to do in the future. And so we want to say, listen to these people, because these are people working today near you, all around Scotland, and they're using data. And their businesses succeed because they understand the data that's around them. She says it better than me. So, in our tasks, the course is open, and we support the use of OER. Personally, being recorded. Personally, I think that any publicly funded organization should share the output of the work that they do. And I support the idea of open licenses. And the Scottish Government has signed up to an open directive that in principle, they believe that more material should be shared openly with the community, the world, people around us. So every piece of work that comes out of this course will be judged. If it's good, then we'll release it under an open license to anybody who wants it. Also, the entire course itself will be under an open license. So anybody can use it, copy it, do what they want with it. I don't care. All I want is people to do the course and to learn more about data. That's all I care about. So, how much time do I have? Not that I care, but, you know, because like we said, voice. Fine. I'll just keep talking. Awesome. So, some of our approaches for teaching and learning. So that's our course. It's kind of dull, but, you know, I'm not sure that you would have a direct interest in the course. But some of the things that we do to deliver the course, we think are quite interesting, and we've learned and come across some tools that you might be interested in. So I was going to cover a few. Has anyone come across Glide? Glide! Seriously, my children love me. They think I am a god because I use Glide. Glide, I mean, really, I mean, seriously, they told all their friends. That never happens. So Glide it was a Kickstarter project 3 years ago. And the basic idea was we want people to develop apps on the phone, and we want people to create their own ideas, but make them look real, like real apps, not just fake things that are just web links, but real working apps. I'm just going to come out of my presentation to look at Glide apps for a second, because you'll find a use of it, because you're smarter than me, and you could do things with this, I swear. So Glide is completely free. It basically just works with Google Spreadsheets. It takes data from a Google spreadsheet, and in a few seconds, it creates a professional app, like an app that you can download onto iOS or Android, looks like a real app, plays like a real app, the interface is awesome, and you can do crazy things with these professional apps. To create an app, you link it to your Google Drive, you choose you choose a spreadsheet, and then in a few seconds, it builds your app, and your app is done. That's it. I'm good. I have a fully working app. The app has parts to it. It has functionality. It has, for example, like in a few seconds, I could add chat functionality to it. You can see it simulated as an Apple device or an Android device. All it does is it's working from a spreadsheet. It takes basically the rows, the headers. Each sheet is a new page on the app. So when you're in the app, you can move to the different sides. How a tab looks, you can make it look different if you want. It's easy to manipulate. And if you want to share it, if you want to put it on your phone today, I should make this look better. It updates in real time. It's for computer programmers. It's a progressive web app, really. But if you want to share it with people, if you want to download it, all you do is you take a picture of that QR code through your camera. I've just realized my translation is off. And you're still here? That's so good. I do like to move. Right, so if I take a picture of my app, let's see, how do I take a picture of my app? So technically minded. It gives me a link. Okay. It downloads my app. It just gives me a link to the web app itself. Once it comes up, I can add it to the home screen, just in the normal way that you would do with these things. Add to the home screen, give it a name, and I have an app on my phone that's totally, fully functional and that I created in like 30 seconds. And it does the business. I mean, it's impressive. It does everything you want. You can make it look good. There's bits, usually this is a sample data set, and I teach students how to make it look nice and stuff. Oh my God, but it's a spreadsheet that can take data from anywhere. You can pull data from IoT sensors all across the country, your room, a building. You can set up experiments. You can feed live data into here. We see colleges and universities who use data dashboards, predictive analytics for their classes, and they transfer the data directly onto an app in front of them. The things that you can make with this are amazing, and students are engaged. Students hate Excel. I don't know why, but they hate Excel. Like, Excel is boring. It's like spreadsheets. Spreadsheets are not an exciting thing. But if we tell our students, like, hey, you can make an app. Suddenly, it changes. It's like, an app? You mean on my phone? And they say, yeah, look, you can make an app. And literally, these are students who don't like waking up early in the morning or coming. They don't work as hard as Polish students. Sorry, YouTube, I didn't mean that. I've heard. Iwona was telling me about how hard students work here. Literally, so much harder than Britain. But they see this, and it's so motivating. It's so cool. It's like, I can do something real for me. And the kind of imagination and how they then go on to use it and exploit those tools. Oh, it's awesome. I love this tool. It's so good. So, Glide, what else do we use? Oh, look, there's engineers, scientists here. How about, am I going back to my translation? Why not? Okay, have you used Google Science Journal? Like, this is really popular in schools. So, Google Science Journal, again, another free tool. It's just an app that sits on your phone. It uses every sensor in the phone. Vibration, motion, height. And it collects all data for a whole range of experiments. It's very highly used in schools now. It's so good, though. It transfers all of the data directly into a Google Drive or Google spreadsheet. And then we can use it to connect to our app. And we can create experiments, live experiments, in a number of different ways. We can add sensors to the phone, collect data. Such a powerful tool that works with pretty much every phone for iOS and Android. But it's such a cool tool, but most people, until they know about it and you can see the potential, you can do so much with this. It's awesome. Have you come across Microsoft Teams at all? One person! That's a win. Right. So, like, the whole world, not whole world, Scotland. This is like universities and colleges have gone crazy about Microsoft Teams because it's like a simple Facebook kind of experience, but it works on your phone, it's mobile. People use VLEs like Moodle or OLAT. And some of the toughest things to do in that is, I assume that you've all set up courses and you've put in forums into your courses and you encourage your students to chat and discuss and talk. Now, we do that too. It never happens. Like, you just, like, getting people to talk on forums is so difficult. Like, they just lose interest. Even if we ask really interesting questions, you get one or two slightly interested people that post and then it dies. But, and the experience of Moodle and all those VLEs, the communication experience is very poor. But Teams is much more recognizable for young people. And they love the platform. They love the phone experience. And we see a whole level of engagement when people use Teams. Universities, colleges, all start to adopt Teams, even to the point of moving away from their VLE and using Teams as an entire environment to deliver all of their teaching and learning. It's such a good tool. I facilitate a group called the Scottish Moodle User Group. So I love VLEs too. But Teams is good. Teams is so good. I want to show an example. But so, like, there's a new standard in Europe just now. It's called the Public Sector Accessibility Guidelines. It means that every university and college in the UK needs to like create captions on videos that are recorded. We do things like, do you do video feedback? Like when you're marking assignments, do you do video feedback? I'm hoping for at least one person to say yes. Like that's, you know, or possibly two. We could go for two. Two would be awesome. But I'm literally going to point to someone and ask, do you do video feedback? No! You are missing out. It's awesome. Video feedback's brilliant. I'm a rubbish student. I like in university, I was rubbish. Like one thing, I never, ever read feedback. Like ever. I would look at my score and that was enough. That's it. I don't care about your feedback. Literally, give me the score, I'm done. And I'm sure like a whole number of students will be out there going, I read every word of your feedback. I'm telling you, it's a lie. It doesn't happen. So feedback, so video feedback. When we are analyzing the submissions for our course, what we typically do, and I know some people do it. I've heard of this being used in Poland. So typically we get the assignment and we use Microsoft Teams or another tool, which basically just is like it puts the Word document onto your screen. And we've got a video camera pointing to us, our webcam on the laptop. And we talk about the assignment. We go, oh, well, it was quite good, but, you know, you kind of lost the point here, and you lost your arguments here, and we scroll through it. And we never record more than maybe 3 or 4 minutes, but you can say a lot in 3 or 4 minutes. You can say, what, 800, 900 words. You can do 2 pages of A4 just by speaking into a video. And students, audio feedback, video feedback is a free tool. You can use so many tools. You can use PowerPoint to record screencasts. You know that PowerPoint has all of that built into it. You can build videos in PowerPoint now. I mean, it's so easy to do. Just go to slideshow, record, and it comes out as a MP4 video file. So we give students that back. Have you tried? Has anyone recorded themselves speaking? 2, 3, 4. I love you guys. Right, so like one of the really tough things about people go, I don't like cameras. And like some people are perfectionists. They want like the perfect recording. And I can tell you that I've trained teachers, I've worked with teachers in other groups. So what they do is I get things like they get the paper that they're recording and they start. But they want to sound perfect. Even though they don't sound perfect in class, they want to sound perfect. So they'll start recording and they'll say, yes, that was a very good example. You did really well. And now they've paused. And now they're thinking, no, you're pausing. This is going to be a bad video. No, you can't let your students see this. So they stop and re-record. And like the time it takes to record a video suddenly goes from 3 minutes to 3 hours. Like, it's like, because they want the perfect video. You get people who actually write a script and they read the script. And there's nothing worse than hearing somebody going, yes, James, yes, you had this really excellent, and you can see their eyes moving in the script. It's terrible. The best reaction from students is hearing you speak as a real person. We had a project in 2008 called the Sounds Good Project that analyzed lecturers about how they delivered feedback, audio feedback. The best feedback was from lecturers who just press record and don't stop until they're done. First time. No, so it was like, you would hear, we heard some of the examples, and they would press record, and they'd start and go, oh, your essay was really good, and then suddenly you'd hear a door open, and you'd hear somebody say, James, do you want a cup of coffee? And then James would go, no, I'm recording. Stop. And like, people would say things, make mistakes, but they would just keep going. And it's that kind of like, people want to hear you. And they said, the students who got that kind of feedback said the feedback was more personal, it was better quality, They understood what it was that you were trying to tell them. But it was the same. I mean, if I wrote the feedback, it would be the same things I would be saying. But somehow, seeing you, hearing you, made everything, the connection, so much stronger. And in distance learning, in any kind of learning, people want to hear from you. So if you're going to record feedback, just do it. Press once, stop, anything. Just once. Just record it and do it. So really, honestly, it'll make such a difference. So, do you use H5P? It's like a plugin. Look at that, 2 people. I'm so excited. So that was like a free thing from Norway. Like H5P has all these extra tools that you can plug into your VLE. Like the most popular one is something called interactive video. And that's the bit you're going to say 5 minutes. I'm going to talk quickly. I don't care. So many more slides. So H5P is like a video where you can put questions in the video so that when a student's watching something, they stop at a moment and you can ask them a question about what happens next. Why do you think something went wrong? Jump to other parts of the video and create like storylines. Did you ever have, there was these books when I was a kid. They were like storylines where you'd read a story. I'm walking to the forest. There's a path. I can go left. I can go right. Did I get that right? Left. Yeah. Left, right. And so if you want to go left, turn to page 112. If you want to go right, turn to page 13. And you would go through the story, and it would have different branches, different endings, depending what you did. Basically, it's a simple multiple choice question. And you took a different step each time. Very simple format. But it teaches you the consequence of your actions. You would do things and see, if I make this choice, what happens next? It was a very useful tool. Actually, somebody who developed a virtual scientific tool used that to test inkblot tests, a narrative tool. H5P, have a look at branching tools. It's truly awesome. Poll everywhere. Do you do like voting systems in the class? Like where you ask people, right? Oh, awesome. So there was this guy called Eric Mazur. He was in the States, physics guy. Really interesting. Everyone just uses these clicker questions. Now talking quicker because you said 5 minutes. I don't know why. Clicker guy. So he would ask like a tough question, and then you all vote, and then I would see the results, and I would go, oh, okay, so maybe my class didn't really understand. So I'll just go over that point again. But Eric's point was he wanted students to talk more together. So he would put a tough question on the board. Everyone would vote. He would see a split, roughly, 50-50 maybe, 30-70. So he would ask students, stand up, because literally you sit at a conference all day. Nobody enjoys it. So he would say, okay, everybody who answered A, find somebody that answered B. Now sit with them. Now you argue for the next 3 minutes and you convince the other person that you're right. And then they would challenge each other, talk, and then he would vote again to see if the opinion had changed or moved. And that's a really important interaction, being able to get students to discuss things with each other. Sometimes the learner's voice is more powerful than the lecturer's voice. I have taught classes where I have explained something so well. I mean, really, you would have been impressed. I was like good. I was really good. And then I've walked past my students and I've heard 2 students, this happens so often, I heard 2 students saying, did you understand that? And I'm, not really. And then somebody else, another student would go, oh, it's just this. What he's talking about is just this. And he would, like, the same thing, but somebody else is explaining it, and suddenly it clicks, and they understand it. And sometimes those extra voices can mean so much in a teaching experience. I'm so going to finish this. Challenge question set. So forums. People don't use forums. I imagine a minute at least I've got. Fine. Challenge set. So what we used to do with forums. People never used forums. So in Moodle, this was an example. We would ask a question that was just like 5 questions on any subject, whatever you want to choose, really tough questions. Like tough, just like your stuff. You'll never answer this by yourself. But at the end, you would get a score, how many you got right. But we would not tell you the correct answer, and we would not tell you which one you got correct. So now, you've got 3 out of 5. You try again. Now you've got 2 out of 5. You don't know which one is right, which one is wrong. So we put the forum at the end, and we said, ask somebody, what is the answer to number 2? And we saw people, because they had a challenge, a real thing that they needed other people's help to complete, they started using a forum with a purpose. Not just to discuss, tell me what you think about that, which I said. Like, in order to get to the next step, I have to talk to other people. I have to collaborate. And that had a real impact. Not running out of time? No. 1 minute. 1 minute. Awesome. Look at that. 1 minute is ages. It's like video feedback. I could say 600 words in 1 minute. So in PowerPoint, so translation, not so great. I get that. In PowerPoint, you can do like record a slideshow, and you get your PowerPoint up there. Oh, you don't see it. Oh, okay. This is going to go so wrong. So I've got a PowerPoint thing here. Mike. PowerPoint thing here, and I've got my web camera in the corner. I can draw over the slides. All I do is press record, and I can create a video, a lesson, an explanation. It's awesome. It's such an easy tool to use. I don't have to use my slides. I can use the desktop, so I can give video feedback through assignments that people have done in Word. I can write notes on it. I can just talk about it. And people, your students want to talk to you. They really love you. They don't say it, but they really love you. They really do. It's just a way of communicating. And it's such an easy tool. It's just there, and you can use it. And there are so many tools out there, and not all of them are great. I would have to say that. Don't come to these. I mean, you're the champions. You're like the e-learning, champions. But it's like, honestly, 90% of the tools out there are not useful for most people. It's like, find the one thing or the 2 things that make a difference and have a try. Start small, build big, and take over the world. And I'm totally going to finish here, because that means like I'm in time, on schedule, and I'm feeling good about myself. Thank you very much.